veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no, I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capping space. I won't stop till I hear him say,
hey there guys, how's everybody? How you doing there, Alex?
I'm great. A little tired. You know, I was traveling all last week. I was in my hometown, Brooklyn, New York, so it kind of took a lot out of me.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
So I'm glad you're back. Back. You guys out there in chat land, just drop us a heart or a hey there or a hey there girl or something and let us know you're there. And how are you guys doing today? How are you guys doing tonight?
Yeah, how's the weather where everybody is? Because it's kind of hot here. It was as much as 97 today here in Virginia.
Woo, that's a heat wave. Yeah, we've been dealing with that here in Michigan too. A heat wave all week long. It's been in the high. It's been mid 90s, and with the humidity, it makes it uncomfortable, right?
Right. And there's a lot of humidity here in Virginia. A lot.
Oh wow. Yeah, I made the mistake yesterday of getting out in the hottest part of the day, and I don't think that really helped me any. So I wasn't feeling well, which is why we had to reschedule yesterday.
Right.
So I'm feeling a lot better today. I decided to do my walking early in the morning and not wait. Oh, Monique says, hey Monique. A-team member and moderator extraordinaire. Good to see you. She says it was hot. 111. Oh my goodness.
Oklahoma City. My goodness. That sounds like Arizona weather.
Yeah. Man, I don't think I could deal with that. You guys got central air everywhere, right? Like when you're walking outside, you got like a central air fan that follows you.
One limb. That's how you say that.
Jay Wiley, hey Jay Wiley, my friend says, good evening. You guys are early today. Yeah, we're early today. We've got a lot of stuff going on tonight, so we had to make it early. Another one of our favorite moderators. Hey, there's DeSosa.
Hey, DeSosa. There she go.
Yeah.
Now I'm happy.
Happy Wednesday, happy hump day, Aubery and A-team. Yay! Look at that applause going. Thanks, Roro. Good to see you too.
And I'm glad you're feeling better because Jeremy's under the weather too. So
yeah, Jeremy, if you're out there listening, I know you're under the covers and you're resting up and you're sipping on taking your chicken soup and sipping on tea and whatnot. So feel better soon. We're thinking about you, and our prayers and our thoughts are going out towards you. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Yeah. So let me get over here to the notes.
Yeah, get over to these notes for this finale, which was a little boring, but has some interesting moments.
Oh my gosh. And, tell us how you really feel. I personally enjoyed it. I do see, though, I will say this for next season, Carlos King and Monique and Chris and them, they're going to have to step it up for this show. They're going to have to step it up. I guess for me, I wouldn't say it was boring because I don't know. I just kind of broke it apart and looked at the different things going on for me. But for the season, they're going to have to step it up. I think they need to get another couple in there. I think they need to get some single girlfriends to shore up Winter, because Winter and Ashley kind of carried things this season. What do you think so?
Yeah. Without Winter, the season would be dead. Without Winter, it's over. you know.
Without that conflict, right, between her and Ashley and the other ladies, what she said, what she called their husbands, and the whole thing about the winter swindler, that.
Yeah.
So even Kevin in his little tertiary part, he played a role too, just being the winter swindler. He's
Yeah.
he really, he's really kind of a classic case, allegedly,
Mm.
appears to be a case in the study of narcissism,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Yeah.
how narcissism are such great manipulators, and they will just, for those of us that are empathic, those of us that are empathetic people, they will play on every sympathy and every goodwill that you have toward mankind. So you really have to be careful of not allowing someone who's got narcissistic traits, or someone that wants to abuse your goodwill, to just really make you sour toward all people. Because I've heard people that have been through that type of situation, and they're like, "Oh, I'm just not going to be good toward anybody." And I have to say, no, that's not how it is. That's not how it should be. You got to
Mm.
forgive, and you have to move on, and you have to do your own. You have to work on your own healing. But I'm not going to stop being good to people because of one person.
Yeah, yeah, and Kevin was the antagonist this season. It was, Winter was sort of that, but he was an antagonist for her. You know, but Winter is such a big personality that without her, this season the show to me would have been very bland.
She handled, yeah, and you know what? I want to say this too about Winter. I'm going to give her props now. I think that she handled herself with the ladies, whether it was with the ladies or with Kevin. She handled herself with a lot of grace and a lot of calmness. Now, I didn't agree with her calling the husbands out of their names and coming up with these little names for them, but that was something that she told to Monique, and I think that she felt like Monique was going to keep that to herself. So, but as far as how she could have gotten back at the women, how she could have been catty, how she could have cursed them out, um, she did not. She just kept herself calm and cool, and that's what it was.
And I want to preface the chat with something that they could think about and hopefully have an answer for us by the end of the podcast. And I've been trying to figure this out from episode 1 through episode 10, and maybe the chat can help us. What in the world has Monique been complaining about all season? She complained every episode, and I still don't know what she's complaining about. So, somebody in the chat, help us in this when we get to the end of the podcast. If you have any answers for me, let me know. Maybe I'm missing something, but I have no idea what this woman's been complaining about.
Yeah, and if you're catching us later on, if you're catching us on the replay, be sure and drop your thoughts about what Monique was complaining about all season long about Chris, his behavior, what she was upset about, why she wasn't content. If you have any thoughts about that, drop them down in the comments if you're doing this on replay. Because that's a very good question, and I'm hoping that we can get some of the couples talking to Winter, to get her on, and then we want to get Monique and Chris on, and of course Ashley, Quick, and the Tylers. We like to have them all come on and visit us, but I've definitely spoken with Winter, so we will be trying to get her on, and I really would like Monique to come on and explain herself to you, because you know only she really knows what she was feeling and what she was thinking in that moment. And like I tell Alex all the time, if you see them on their lives, Chris and Monique actually get along quite well right now. So, we got to realize that when we think about it in real time, this was 6, 7, 8 months ago when they taped this, right? So it was a
Yes.
lifetime ago.
Right.
So,
Right. So what's your first notes so we can get on this thing here?
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Impatient. Yeah, we know you got a hot date tonight. So in the opening of the season finale, the couples continue their getaway with Mo and Chris in the kitchen of their vacay home. They admit that Kevin's visit has helped the others to better understand Winter. So, kind of to what we were saying, if we want to kind of expound on that a little bit, I don't know about you, Alex, but I felt like it did. Even Ashley had to say, and Ashley probably had been the most blunt and stated boldly, to Winter that she felt like, well, why do you keep talking about this man? Well, how did you pick this man? Did you not vet him? And how are you a dating coach, and you let this happen to you? I think it did kind of help them to see that there was a whole bunch of crazy going on, allegedly, with with Kevin with Kevin Williams. Got to throw that word in there.
Yeah.
But I mean,
What?
because soon as first time I saw him, I don't know. I guess the other couples didn't see him, but I'm just going to say this: early on, when the audience first, the viewers first saw Kevin, I was like, yeah, there's something wrong with that dude. Like right off the rip, you can look at him
Mhm.
and say there's something wrong with him. And I'm not sure. Maybe it's that a year down the road they've been going through this divorce and he's stressing out. He's going through this court case, but he looked like he double hockey stick.
Yeah. And I think what that does is that's eye-opening confirmation, because if you're, let's say you're in a position of Winter and you're trying to tell everybody within earshot, this person is crazy, this person is a liar, this person is this person's a narcissist, so forth and so on, and everybody looking at you like, yeah, it's probably you're a headache, you calling all of us names, you creating strife among our group, you're probably the one, and then Kevin shows up and confirms to everybody what Winter's saying, that he's crazy and he's a narcissist. So, so
Yeah, he
I
thought he
mean,
thought that briefcase was gonna save him, and for a minute, I think that Quick almost fell for the oldest con in the book. Like, I'll carry a briefcase around and make myself look official. Come on, Quick, you got to
right
be you got that street savvy. You got to be a little quicker than that.
now, Quick didn't fall for from the lunch meeting they had earlier, way before this
Well,
incident.
but for a
So
while he was saying, and then okay, maybe it's just that street code of bros before you know the word, and we're not going to say it, right?
right.
Which I'm always kind of like that whole cultural thing that black males some of them seem to go through is it's trash. It's for the streets.
Mhm.
But he was basically saying, I mean, I got from Quick that basically he didn't want to believe uh Winter, and I think we're gonna see coming up in the reunion parts. We're gonna see where he really gets very explosive towards her. So I don't know, if she should have had her boyfriend there, her brother there, or dad there, because me myself, I'm not gonna sit up on the stage and let a man verbally abuse me. I'm sorry, you're just not gonna do that. And I think that's wrong of him. That just because she is married but separated. So she literally has no man to stand in the gap for her. I don't understand why men come across with this masculine energy toward women. I really don't get that.
Well, he don't like her, or was giving Kevin the benefit of the doubt, because Winter has been very suspect with them all season long. So they're saying, and that's what I was just finished saying, because all season long they're saying, well, Winter's the crazy one. She's the antagonizer. She's the troublemaker. She's the misguided one. She never went to his house to see he was in his parents' basement. She didn't do her due diligence to find out he was a thief, and so forth and so on. So they were giving Kevin the benefit of the doubt. Winter was screaming to the top of her lungs all season, it's not me, it's not me, it's not me. And then Kevin shows up at this retreat, and everybody now knows it's him. you know, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Right, right,
that that
right.
that confirms things for Winter in a huge way, and takes a huge weight off her chest. And that's why she said it was a very healing experience, and she's actually glad he showed up.
Our viewers have. I guess I shouldn't have went through these so quick because you're talking and I didn't want to interrupt you. But
Uh-huh.
listen, our viewers have something they want to weigh in on some things too. So they got some responses here that I want to read off. What we asked earlier. So, what you asked about Monique and what is she upset with Chris about?
Right.
Jay from Another Round says nobody knows. Monique is operating out of fear. I think there's Jay. I think seriously, I think there's some truth to that. There's a lot of insecurity that's going on, and it finally kicked in with me this episode that honestly I think it deals with a lot of things that's going on that happened in her childhood, and Chris just simply operates as for her emotionally as a trigger. He's not the real issue, he's just simply the trigger because she didn't get whatever she felt she needed in her childhood and she has not healed from it. So that's what I seem to observe. That's my take on it. Roro says, I think Monique's complaining about Chris is fake in order to boost their storyline, and she has she has some deep rooted insecurities. Yeah, Roro, I think it is actually is number two. I think it's that second part. I really believe that. I think that it may have started off that she kind of faking a little bit, but I think actually, in all honesty, it's that number two. And then getting back to Jay says, getting back to what we were saying about Quick and the whole Winter issue and the whole Kevin Swindler thing. Quick was standing by his woman. He didn't believe Winter because Ashley doesn't care for her. Yeah, I can see that. You see that, Alex?
Yep, absolutely.
And then another one, Roro says, but Winter made herself look cray cray. Cray cray with the fast talking and looking at people like she was trying to see their soul.
Yeah, and listen, I don't excuse none of Winter's other behavior, but when it's in reference to Kevin, and everybody thought she was crazy about him, this so many things were her fault with that relationship. He confirmed that she was not crazy. So in that dynamic, Winter is not the wrong one. But calling husbands names and all that, calling people out during the course of the season, yeah, Winter's cray for that.
Right. And I want to thank Edward Smart, my buddy here. He shared out the video. You guys are welcome and free to share out the video too. I really would appreciate it. It helps us in the algorithm. It helps our channel grow. And then on top of that, what? A-team member and our frequent co-host Jeremy Speaks TV says, like the video.
Like the video. Duh.
Jeremy,
aren't you in college, Jeremy? Is that how you spell the?
He's a college graduate. What are you talking about? He's a college graduate. But let's see what Jeremy's saying about the show. He says, I think Monique is projecting her insecurity onto Chris. Exactly. Chris accomplished his goals. He made the NFL and retired. Monique feels like she hasn't accomplished much, and I'm not going to agree with that, Jeremy. But Jeremy says, and she hasn't. I'm not going to agree with that. This woman has a whole loving family, a husband who adores her, and 3 beautiful children. And there's a lot of things. I'm sure, Jeremy, you be in these YouTube streets like me. I'm sure you've heard some of the wonderful things and business things that Monique has done for her family and her husband, even from the beginning before she became his wife. So I'm not gonna quibble with you about that because I disagree.
Yeah, but he's not complaining.
Okay. Then Jeremy also says, Jeremy, I'm scared to read this. I think that's the same one. How did I get? Yeah. Did you? It came through twice. I see.
Right, it came through twice. Yeah,
it came through twice. Okay, that's just a glitch in the system. All right, so but thank you.
But Aubrey, Chris Samuels isn't complaining. He's not saying Monique didn't do anything and that he has insecurities. He's not saying anything. She's the one complaining, and that's what I'm having difficulty with.
Well, I guess I just go back to in marriage. I don't know if you'll agree or disagree with me, Alex, or anybody out there who's married or has been married. I think that part of marriage is that none of us are perfect. Chris is not perfect. Monique is not perfect. And I think that what happens in marriage is that we actually have the opportunity, if we're willing, if we want to give of ourselves, to actually minister to one another's souls, right? So there's something that Monique is lacking. There's a wound there, I believe, I think, from what I'm hearing and what she's saying. Because here's another thing, and I mentioned to you when we weren't on the air. There's a thing, like, we've heard a lot about many of the couples, the individuals, how their childhood was, whether their parents were married, whether they stayed together, whether they divorced when they were really young. What I've never heard on this show for 10 episodes, I've never heard about Monique's background. I don't know if she came from a 2-parent home. I don't know if her parents divorced when she was young. I don't know if there was abuse in the home. Okay. So this makes me very curious about her, because even though I think what we see as viewers is she's very well put together, right? Mm-hmm. She's beautiful. She's smart. She's intelligent. She's well spoken. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of times, I know for myself, personally, a lot of times people see you as put together and they never really stop to think about what's really going on inside of you, or what things could have happened, what traumas could have happened to you in your childhood.
Well, look, most of us, Aubrey, most of
Yeah.
us, Aubery, in life, everybody goes through stuff. All right. And then
I
most of us
agree.
leave out our house in the morning and we have our mask on because the rest of the world is none of their business what we go through, or we want to mask or hide what we go through. So we come out with our mask on, and then when we get back home at night after we take care of our business or come home from work, we go back inside, the mask comes off, we go back into depression or anxiety or whatever it is that we're dealing with. So when you're in a marriage, and I've been there twice, there ebbs and flows in all marriages and relationships, as you know. But
Exactly.
the issue that I'm having with this couple, Chris and Monique, is that Chris has provided everything Monique or women say that they want. He has provided a great life for them financially. He's a protector. He's a big teddy bear protector type guy, former football player, so you know he's tough.
Right.
Okay. He's a great father. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He backs her up on all her goals and dreams. He tells her he loves her. He's proud of her. He says all these things to her. But yet she's complaining. So that's the thing, that you may be onto something, Aubery. There's something in her past that she's not dealing with, because on the surface, no marriage is perfect, no. But on the surface with Chris Samuels, she really has no complaints, none.
Right. Now I'm going to read one last comment before we go on with the notes. Jay is saying of another round, and guys, you had some great comments. Jeremy, we're going to get to that. I'll try to get to that. Some of what I know about what she's done. Now, you guys have watched her on the Real Housewives of Potomac, so I'm surprised that, like you said, that you may be biased, so that may be why you're not remembering what was one of some of the things that she's done. But Jay says, that's what I was going to say, Aubery. Something Monique seen growing up has her overly worried about her relationship to the point she's exactly. That's what I feel too, Jay, to what you're saying. She does seem to be self-sabotaging. And I don't think it's because she doesn't love Chris or she wants a divorce like some people co-host.
Yeah.
She keeps stressing this 10-year mark. Exactly. So we don't know, maybe at 10 years of marriage or at the age of 10, I don't know what that is. I think for us, and let's say this too, Jay, and everybody here, if you're a person of color, raise your hand. My hand's up. Okay. So let's say this: marriage in our community is especially stressful. We have a lower rate of marriage going into it, right? Less of our women are getting married. Less of our children are born into two-parent married households, right? Okay, and then you've got always this extra burden. The whole burden of being Black or a person of color in this country is difficult. Okay, and I don't know anybody, if you think that it's not, if you're listening and you're a non-person of color, just understand that there's an extra burden on us as people of color, as Black people in this country. And so it brings an extra stressor on our marriages too, because we're always financially, we're always operating under earning less because of the color of our skin and for many other reasons. So whether you agree with me or not, that's my opinion. And so I say that it brings a lot of stresses. And also because in our community, because there are less marriages, and oftentimes we see people that want to sabotage even marriages. Does that make sense? There are literally people, there are guys out there, going back to like what I was saying about this whole male culture of, bros before the H word. That's self-sabotaging right there. There's a whole group of men that would tell one man, well, don't get married. You're a simp. You're a simp. Don't do that. Just keep, slutting around. Okay. All right. I want to try to watch my language here, but it's a whole thing. And I know it exists and I've seen it in action. So let's not pretend that marriages in the Black culture and the Black community are not under attack. Let's not pretend that. Okay.
Well, they definitely under attack, because I'm gonna tell you this, and we're gonna move on because I don't want to get too deep into it. But I'll say this: prior to the women's movement of the 1970s, there was a huge women's movement. Black marriage was very prevalent. There were two-parent households. People stayed together 40, 50 years. They raised, sometimes 10, 11 children together, because people back then had a lot of children,
Right.
much more so than today. So marriage was prevalent. It was normal. Okay. Then when the 70s hit, all these movements started, and the big women's independent movement started intentionally, but that's another discussion, to disband and break up the Black family. So that's what's been going on since then. And that's over that's about 50 years ago at this point.
Yeah.
Almost 50 years of that. So that conditioning for the last 50 years, now we're at a point where, black women, I don't need no man. I'm independent. I'm strong. I'm this. So it's like men don't feel needed. Even the good dudes, we don't feel needed, so we don't bother. So whatever the plan was, which is very deeply rooted, it has worked. And we got to figure out a way to fix this thing.
Yeah, you're right about that. And I'm gonna tell you something, ladies. If you're out there saying, on the one hand, if you're being double-minded, the Bible speaks about this. If you're double-minded, if you're saying out of one side of your mouth, you don't need a man, you strong and you independent. Nothing wrong with being independent while you're single. But if you're saying that, but then on the other hand, you're out here trying to date and you're looking for a spouse, a partner to marry, a man to marry, you got to really rethink some of that, because I've had girlfriends along the way that have said things like that, and I really just had to kind of tell them, you're really speaking out of both sides of your mouth. And the way the laws of attraction, the way God works, is not that you can say whatever you want to say and then it not manifest itself, right? So if you don't need somebody, then quit saying that you want a husband. Make your mind up. Which one is it? You want a husband? You don't want a husband. All right.
Yeah, because men want to feel needed, Aubery, and if we don't feel needed, we're not going to hang around. Period.
Right. I think would you agree with me? And then, like you said, we're going to move on to the notes. But wouldn't you say that two things about men that are almost universal, and this goes for black, white, Hispanic, Asian, whatever race or creed a man might be, men want to be needed, and they also want to feel needed, and they want to feel respected.
That's it.
And if you're not bringing those things, if you're not leading with that love, that respect, and that need in your relationship, then
stay by yourself.
I'm not really sure what you're doing, right? I'm not really sure what you're doing. But moving on. So apparently Winter, as Chris and Monique are talking in their kitchen. Apparently we see Winter. So apparently she did stay overnight, because, they had said that she was just going to come and bring the sex therapist and then she was going to leave. But apparently she stayed overnight. They thought differently of it after they saw what a person this Kevin Williams was. And so I said, what the H is with this IV therapy? Guys, if you've had IV therapy like they were doing, as we saw in this show, because like this is after a night of heavy drinking, I guess you get this IV that has something in it that's supposed to, I say just bottled water works fine for me. Maybe that's just
I'm telling you. Yeah.
You're not sticking anything in my vein. No, that's something we're not going to do. We're not going to play these rich people games.
Drink plenty water.
Just because we got money, we're not just doing stuff just to be doing stuff. That's me. Like, I'm not going to get a Brazilian butt lift either if I had money.
Right. But, all that nonsense.
Nonsense. Just stuff to be doing stuff because we got money now. Okay. The group plays some games to get to know one another better. And Jamie and Arena were talking about, well, I guess if they were going to do something, the house was too cold. So I'm not sure what that was about. They said it was like 60 degrees in there. I don't get it. I mean, hopefully Chris is still paying the heating bill. But
I guess Jamie was alluding to the fact that he probably couldn't generate an erection in the cold. So I guess that's what he was alluding to.
Well, we're going to have a hard time getting Jamie on if you keep talking like
hey, I'm going by what he said. I
don't know. My thing is, if it was cold, I felt like they should have snuggled a little closer, and but whatever.
Things don't work right in the cold. Certain parts of your body won't work right if it's too cold. So,
oh, okay. I'll take your word for it. I'll take your word for it. Okay. I'm just back over here in the comment section real quick to see if there's. I saw there were some notes that comments had been coming in. So another round, I guess, is agreeing with me. Obviously, clearly not you, but me.
Yeah, right. No, me.
Same thing with Monique. She said, "I know that's right." She meant to put Aubery.
Please clarify. Please clarify who y'all agree with.
Well, Roro made it clear. Look at that. Read that one for me.
No, I'm not reading that. I love Roro, but I'm not reading that.
I'm gonna sit right here on this until you read it.
All right. Preach at ActuallyAubery 100.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute.
Oh
Smart
my God.
Aviation says that the IV, or what they do is they put B12. Okay,
Oh,
okay. Now
B12
that
vitamins.
B12 vitamin. Okay, now
Mm,
that makes a little more sense. Thank you.
mm.
Okay, so Smart Aviation, who's also my buddy Edward. Have you done that before? Okay, because you got a lot of money. You know how you got them deep pockets. So tell me, does that really work, and how does that go? If you've done that, anybody in here that has done that, or if you're on the replay, drop it down in the comments, because maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just naive and I'm uninformed and I don't know. So tell me how that IV with the B12 or whatever. Tell me if you're a nurse or you're in the nursing field. Tell me if that actually is practical, how well it works, and how expensive is that? uh, Roro says the IV therapy is, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's some bourgeoisie shenanigans. I holler because you know what? I holler because my mama used to say sometimes when you're not used to having money, you do some things that just really don't make common sense. Okay, so
Mm,
I'm not into that bourgeoisie stuff. That's those shenanigans.
right. Yeah.
Let's see. Another round says I got friends that do the IV. Oh, so you got friends with deep pockets too. I never get that faded to need. Exactly. That's the
Yeah.
other thing I was
Yeah.
gonna say. Like if you're not in your 20s, I guess some of them are still in their 30s. I don't see the purpose and the point of getting drunk. Honestly, I really don't. And I might sound square, and I guess I actually am a little square.
Yeah, you're a
Um,
square.
I'm a square, right? But
Hmm.
I really don't. Like, outside of your 20s. Now, I'm gonna say when I was in my 20s, I probably did do some heavy drinking, right? I
Hmm.
did used to go to the clubs. I used to dance all night. I used to hang out till 5 or 6 in the morning. But you get 30, you got kids, you got a husband now. I'm not really seeing the point of that. But
Right.
again, I'm just kind of more laid back like that.
Hmm.
The Sosa says, you want to read that one?
Yes, needing someone, okay, but please don't depend on a man. Well, absolutely, because self-preservation is the number one rule of life. So you don't depend on anybody, but you want them to feel as if they have a place in your life. And to men, we have to feel needed. We have to feel respected, as Aubery says. So, because otherwise, we serve no purpose in our mind, and we're not going to hang around. Period.
In
In
relationships.
relationships,
And so
right?
I'm going to disagree with that. I'm going to disagree with that. I say again, if you're single and you want to stay single and that's your whole lifestyle, that's your whole goal in life is to be a single person, independent, then fine, knock yourself out. But what I'm going to say that if you're in relationship with a man, if you want to be or you are, i.e., married, that's an interdependence relationship. I believe personally that marriages and relationships that are long term, okay, let's say even if you're living with the person, if you're in a healthy relationship, those relationships are called interdependent. So that's a different thing. And once again, that's kind of our community not really understanding how healthy relationships work. Interdependent is a whole thing, right? So that means that I come to the relationship whole, he comes to the relationship whole, and because we trust each other and because we built this relationship from the ground up, we're not getting married after 18 days or 18 weeks, okay? We're not doing a Winter and a Kevin Williams situation. We're not doing that, right? But we get to know each other, and yeah, we decide to be married and be in a relationship. We're going to be interdependent. That's my hope. That's my goal, and that's what I consider a healthy relationship. So, I disagree with you, DeSosa. Another round. I assume Jamie and Arena were talking about. Okay, I can't read that comment. Let me
I
take
don't.
that off. Okay. Jamie, you back here with the shenanigans again. I'm coming to visit your channel this week. Okay, that's all I can say. Roro, she was fussing at you. She said, "You better read my comment,
I
Alex."
did. I did.
He did. uh, and Monique King, read that one for me, Alex.
My body can't handle being fun drunk anymore. Yeah, it just gets to
Yeah.
a point where you just can't deal with it no more. It gets to that point. It really does.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I would think. I mean, I'm just trying to say, like, people say I'll try anything once. My thing is if you try something once, twice, a dozen times, 100 times, whatever. I don't know the number, but at some point, don't you grow up and get tired? Don't you move to the next phase in your life, or is it just me?
Listen, I was in Brooklyn, New York all last week visiting my old peeps, right? And we partied just past Saturday. Okay. Now, back in the day when I was younger, 20s, 30, we partied till 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning, we be up. Okay. Last Saturday, 12, 1 o'clock, I'm starting to nod off. I mean, I just can't, I can't do it no more. You know?
I'm looking at Jay. Jay got this. She got eggplants up. You know what, Jay? I'm not putting none of your comments up on the screen. Not another one. I holler. I'm through with you. I'm through with you.
Yeah. No,
I am not playing with you.
He should have used that. He should have used that one.
No, that's all right.
Oh,
well, we'll get back over here to our
the notes.
notes.
Okay.
Oh, Ro, you're acting up too. I see you in the chat. I'm not going to your comment. I see what you just wrote. Okay, so what is it? Where was I at here?
Yeah.
Bottled up. Okay.
Diabetes therapy. Bottle H2O for me is H2O for me instead. The group plays games to get to know one another. Jamie says it's cold. Okay, we did that.
We did that one. Yeah, I'm trying to get back to. That's a whole. It's all these different sections when you're on StreamYard, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so moving forward. Neil and Tasha. We find out that when they're playing this game, okay, they're asking questions. The couples are talking to get to know each other better.
This one they're dressed up like.
Oh yeah, right.
Okay.
So they're together as teens, and we find out that that's in my next note. So we'll let me get to that when I get to that. Okay. Okay. So
yeah, but I want
apparently Quick cheated. Okay. So they're talking, and apparently Quick cheated on Ashley, his wife, after they had a baby together. Right. Okay. And so then I say, this whole male horror culture is too much. Ashley says she didn't know. So now, do you want to take the part about Ashley didn't know? Ashley didn't know what was going on. She didn't know he cheated on her. And there's a whole thing because I think they're talking and she actually gets angry in real life.
No, she's the one. She's adamant about we weren't living together. I was 19 years old. So whatever you did, I didn't know that part. He's saying, well, we were young. Like you said, we weren't living together. We weren't really together like that. So we were young. I mean, you have to expect that a 19, 18, 20-year-old person is going to have a life. They're going to do things. So don't act shocked now at 38, 39, 40. Now you worried about something that happened 20 years ago and ruined an otherwise fun night.
So when you say that 18 or 19 people are going to do things, so you're saying that it's your contention that is perfectly fine that he was cheating on her, whether they were 18, 19. The point of it is they were together. They had this child together, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're saying that you agree with that?
I'm saying it's going to happen. And I would challenge any man in this chat. It's not me, probably not many men in the chat. But there's no 18, 19, 20, 25, 26-year-old men that are going to stay faithful. We're just too young and we're too driven and we're thinking with the wrong head in that age range. So you have to expect to go through some things. If you want to get serious at 19 with a 19 or 18-year-old man, you want to go through some stuff with some women, okay? Because he hasn't gotten it out of his system. And I keep telling people, the prefrontal cortex is not even fully formed until you're 25 years old. Your brain is not developed fully until you're 25. So you're going to make all kinds of mistakes. The issue is don't get 40. You stay with the guy or girl or woman all these years, get 40 and look back and go, oh, I didn't know that. You wrong, and destroy the whole night. Now you got a whole family. You got success together. Whatever happened back then, leave it there.
I agree with you on the. I guess so here's where I'm at. I agree with you that yes, something that happened 20 years ago, you guys decided to stick it out. You're still together. You had 2 more children after that. You're married. You got a whole house. You got a whole career. You got businesses. You got all these things intertwined together. And you clearly love each other. Let's just talk about that, right? They clearly, Ashley and Quick, out of all the couples, they clearly love and get each other, right? That's what I see. Do you see that? Or is it just me?
I get it.
I feel like they get each other. They love each other. Yeah, like you said, you're gonna have your ups and downs. I think that that's another thing where people get twisted about marriage is people romanticize marriage and they romanticize relationships. And the minute they're not perfect, they want to throw them in the trash, and that's a problem. That's a real problem because there are no perfect people. There are no perfect relationships. But where I disagree with you is no, I'm not thinking that the 18, 19, 25-year-olds are necessarily the age or the 18, 19 or 20-year-olds are the ones that should be running around getting married. I think though, when you start talking about, you added the 25-year-old in there, and let's talk about that for a minute. There are people that are 25 years old that are mature. They grew up with values. They have values, and they value actually not being whorish and being out in the streets. So like I said, so when you got a culture over here that says for men that this is how you get your props is by you having more women and more sex, then that's a thing. Then that's what you believe. But if your worldview is not that, if your worldview is that it makes me more of a man to satisfy this one woman and stay with her and build a life with her, then that's what you think and that's what you believe, and you can act on that. So it really falls down to, what do you really believe? What are your core values? People need to stop and ask themselves that more. And women need to stop and ask their men that more. And look at how they're behaving and how they're moving in the world and operating. Because when you see you're with a guy and he's an F boy, believe him. Believe him. He's an F boy.
Well, listen, and we all have the ability to have restraint, to have self-control, to make our own decisions, and so forth. But the fact of the matter is, the desire, your favorite book, the Bible, the flesh is weak. Okay, that's how we were created, with weak flesh, particularly men. Okay, because even in biblical days, men had several women, men had concubines, all this different kind of stuff. It's a desire that we're created with, and we have to learn to control that. It's almost like Bruce Banner in the Incredible Hulk. He gets angry, he gets big and green and tears everything up. He had to learn how to control that anger so he don't turn into the Hulk and destroy everything. So it's in us. We have to try to control that. But most men, ages 18 up to 30, not going to control that urge. They're just not going to do it.
That's your opinion. That's your opinion. And what I'm saying, I like that you said that you say something about having to try. So here's what I suggest. Do it. Because it's just like, trying to go to work. If you're going to go to work. But if you're going to try, chances are you aren't going to make it. So trying, somebody taught me that a long time ago. Trying is a word people use when they really don't want to be responsible for doing what needs to be done. You're going to go to work, or are you going to try to go to work? Because if you try to go to work, you might just sleep in an extra 30 minutes and you might be late. But if you're going to work because you need to pay your bills to keep the roof over your head and some food in your belly, you're going to get your butt up and go to work. You might even get that 30 minutes, 15 minutes early. How about that? So no, we're not going to give men the excuse about the flesh is weak. Yes, that's in the Bible, but that's for all people. That's saying that whole flesh is weak. That goes for women too.
Right.
So we're not gonna say that the women,
because while we're out there cheating, guess who we're cheating with?
Did I interrupt you at all when you were speaking? No, I did. We're not gonna say that because women can cheat too. So I'm not excusing either genders, right? But the point of this is that I'm saying I want to just really for us to look at what are our core values as men, as women, as a person. What are your core values? And have you recognized that in your partner, the person that you're seeking to be your partner? Have you talked about it? Have you discussed it? Let's talk about expectations, because one of the other things I see is that when people get married, all of a sudden men think that women are supposed to be their housekeepers and their maids. Let's talk about that. I posted.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
I posted in Facebook the other day. It was an old flashback somebody had from the 50s, and it was saying all these ridiculous things most women would see as ridiculous, that before your man comes home, you're running around, you're cleaning the house up, you're cooking his dinner, you're putting on your nightie, you're just doing all the most. I mean, like, maybe during the time when this was written, these women were stay-at-home wives and mothers, right? But nowadays, women are out here. I'm subject to be at work. I worked the job in the trades and electrical. I worked the job where I work 12-hour, 16, 24-hour days. Okay. So you can bet your bottom dollar I'm not coming home doing nothing. I'm not doing a doggone thing. Not one. But getting in the bed, taking a shower and getting in the bed. That's all I'm doing. Okay. Count me out for all the rest of that stuff.
Look, both people have shared responsibilities when both people work outside the home. If you didn't work outside the home and the home is your responsibility, that's different. But if both of you guys work outside the home, you still can expect to have a traditional wife who's going to cook and keep everything clean and all that craziness. You have to share in those responsibilities.
You're not sharing those responsibilities. And I tell you what, even if I'm a stay-at-home mother, wife, I think there's some things that a man needs to do. A man needs to be involved. He wanted to have children. He wanted to have a family and have children, right? He needs to be involved with his children. He needs to change diapers. He needs to bottle feed. He needs to run after his kids. He needs to play with them on the weekends. He needs to play with them during the week, help them with homework. Okay? Yeah.
Yeah.
How about that?
How about that? And if you're a stay-at-home mom and I'm out working hard all day, 10, 12 hours a day, when I come home, you need to be greased up.
Moving on. You know what? Women, this man over here, he is prehistoric. That's all I can say. Like, I expect right now he's probably scratching under his arms like a caveman. Jeremy Speak says, I think everybody wants to feel wanted. Who wants to be in a relationship where they feel like they're disposable? I'm not reading that last part, Jeremy. I'm moving on.
He don't like Monique. Let's just surmise that.
We will. Jeremy, I'm giving you one more chance. Don't make me regret it. What is partying for the Go ahead and read this out. I can't stop laughing. Go ahead.
What is partying for the old peeps you hang out with, Alex? Two-stepping, playing spades and dominoes, and playing the oldies but goodies party mix. The party Saturday was absolutely none of that. That's why I just could not make it. I mean, I did pretty good. I danced a lot. I drank, whatever. But that witching hour, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock rolled around, I just started fading. Jeremy.
I'm not going to tell them about the pictures you sent me. About that
party, don't tell them about that.
That's a secret between the two of us. I'm not going to tell them what you knocked off your bucket list that night.
Yeah, don't tell them.
No. I respect you. You respect me. So we'll keep certain things private.
Oh, my goodness.
Hey, but Jeremy, you be proud of him, though.
Yeah, Jeremy be proud. Jeremy be real proud.
Okay. So let's see. Row. But wasn't Ashley saying when she cheated on Quick, they were not living? Girl, I couldn't keep up, Row, to tell you the truth. And to what Alex is saying, really, honestly, I didn't give a darn. If it was 20 years ago, I really didn't give a darn. Because if you still with them, if you're not mad at them, why am I going to be mad at them, okay?
And they try to dismiss what Ashley did as, it was an emotional cheat. It wasn't really cheating. It was an emotional cheat. She's kind of try to push it under the rug with that emotional stuff.
Oh yeah, we did a whole podcast. You guys need to go over and catch our He Said She Said podcast on what's it called? Revenge. Come on, say
Revenge cheating.
Yeah, we did a whole. I never heard of it. This guy, of course he would know about it. I'm not gonna even ask how he would know, but yeah, right. I never even heard of the whole idea. Like I said, some cultures, I don't live in them. I can understand them, and I'm going to say I can respect certain things, but that's not my world. I don't. If you cheated on me, somebody cheated on me, I'm just going to say, you know what? I'll make the determination that I'll move on. Okay, yeah. We ain't going to be all this other stuff. I don't do back and forth with guys. Like if we dating, we break up. I don't do that. So to me, the whole revenge cheating thing falls in the same category. Like if you lost trust, move on.
Yeah, and the costumes they had on, I want to breeze over that real quick.
But that's coming up. That's coming up.
Oh,
but I want to let's get to what the viewers are saying. Okay. Jay says they were forced into a relationship early due to being pregnant. Oh, okay, yeah, that's what it sounds like. Because so we never seen. I don't see that son. He doesn't. Their son doesn't look like he's 20, so she's 38. So
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't
she's
know that.
upper 30s.
Yeah. I don't get the timeline. I need to see a timeline. I'm a visual learner, not an audio. But in any case, she was mad. Oh yeah, I'm assuming because this was an incident that they had never discussed, and he kept saying I told her about it, and it's one
Right.
of those things. I felt like as he was saying, it was one of those things like he in his mind he maybe thought about telling her, but the way he moves around his wife. He didn't tell her because he knows that she would have got that lick back. And we're going to get to that in just a second in the card, too, the next card. The Sosa. Cheating is a other level. Yeah, exactly. That's what I say. I say, like, if you cheat on me and I know about it, F you. Okay. I'm done. Moving on. Jeremy speaks. The Sosa. I get drunk, then my hormones take over. Ooh,
Yeah,
Jeremy.
look at that. Child. A whole what?
We're not anyway. We're moving on to the next comment. Jeremy, I see you people. Y'all just playing with me today. Y'all know I run a PG. Yeah, holler.
Oh my goodness.
Y'all know I run a PG-13 channel over here. Now where am I at? Jay Wiley.
Jay
Wiley
Wiley
says I'm going to say
I'm not going to say.
You read it.
I'm not going to say all men cheat after 25, but I understand Alex's point about maturity. That said, some of us can be faithful in our 20s. My male friends don't string women along if they aren't happy.
And thank you. Oh my gosh. See, ladies. See, but he's already taken, guys. He's already taken.
I was a slinger. I was a slinger.
Yeah, you were. Okay, so but a lot of men are. But the point that he's making is, and let's focus on his point and not yours, because you've already had a chance to illuminate your point. Jay Wiley is from. It sounds like you're from a section of the community that think like I think, right? We think about faithfulness, we think about commitment, we think about monogamy. And you're saying that not all men cheat after 25, but you do understand Alex's point about maturity. That said, some of us can be and are faithful in our 20s and 30s too. My male friends don't string women alone if they aren't happy. And that key thing, that last sentence, Jay Wiley, it says everything. See, here's my problem with men. If you're not happy with the woman, what are you doing? Why is it necessary? But that's all about ego. And then you're fronting for the wrong people. You're fronting for your male friends. You know what? It's so queer and it's so weird to me that, and it would take Jeremy up here to explain this. Like, so straight men fronting for their supposedly straight male friends. I don't get that. That's stupid. That's just really stupid and dumb to me.
Yeah, it's the whole notches in the belt theory kind of thing. So that's all that is.
It's a very backwards. It's a very backwards culture that is taking the Black community down, in my opinion. Don D says getting drunk is an excuse used for cheating and not a good one. Exactly. And someone else, Jeremy, yes, I do too.
I hate misogyny.
Exactly, and that's part of that culture too. That's what that really is, because this whole concept that you can run through women, I'm doing the air quotes here, this whole concept that you can run through women and that somehow makes you a better person. Like, we're not going to even start to get into the level of high risk diseases, sexually transmitted diseases in our community because of this. We're not going to even get into the fact that HIV is rising in the 50, 60-year-old plus gang. We're not going to, a group of people, that demographics, we're not going to even get into that tonight, because that would just be a whole other conversation.
And the fatherless children, so many children being made with different mothers and the fathers just aren't around, and so that's a huge problem as well.
That's true. That is absolutely true. That is a tremendous sad commentary and issue in our community, is so many kids being raised without the fathers in the home, without the fathers even giving any attention, a dime or a dollar to the children or their mothers or anything. So let me get back over here to my notes. Okay, so now here, okay, here, read this. I'm gonna let you read the notes, because everything is in there. You can go from there.
Okay, Chris and Mo play Biggie and Lil Kim, baby. Jamie and Urana are Jay-Z and Bay. Quick and Ash are Ike and Tina Turner.
Mm-hmm.
And LOL, Ashley is still angry about Quick about the cheaterization 20 years ago. Chris misspeaks. All right. So the first thing I want to say is, Chris dressed up like my man Big. So I gotta say
I
this.
loved it. I loved it. Let me give him a hand clap.
Yeah, give him a hand.
Go, Chris, go.
Go, right. baby. First things first, our poppers, freaks, all the honeys, dummies, Playboy bunnies, those wanting money. They're the ones I like, but they don't get Nathan but penetration unless it smells like sanitation. Come on, Biggie. Give it to me. baby.
Comments, actual comments, and not rapping.
That's actual Brooklyn, baby.
Extra comments about the scene in the show that we're recapping right now for our audience, for the viewers.
Yeah, I hear Biggie. I got to go.
Yeah, I like Biggie too.
But yeah, just the costumes were awesome. I think Chris was really trying to get into his Biggie mode. Monique looked just like Lil' Kim with those colors on, and I kind of like the Ike and Tina thing. I kept thinking, eat the cake, anime. Eat the cake, anime. That's all I kept thinking. Eat the cake, anime. You remember from the movie?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Goodness. I can see from What's Love Got to Do with It?
Yeah. I kept thinking, eat the cake, anime. So, but yeah, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the little dress up and the costume thing. Also too, Tasha, Erykah Badu, and Andre 2000, 3000, whatever. And so they look good doing that. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was. But the whole and thank you. Let me shout this out real quick. Thank you so much, Jeremy Speaks. Thank you so much. Thank you for the super chat, the $5 super chat. I appreciate it so much. And he says on it, "Black men don't cheat." Give you a hand for those black men that don't.
Yeah.
That respect their monogamy between their man or woman, as the case may be.
Uh-huh.
Right? Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. But getting back to the notes though,
yeah.
I'm gonna pull those back up real quick. So do we have anything else to say about we did the cheaterization. So the next card goes into I want to
talk about the Chris misspeaks thing because that became a huge
that's what the
thing.
next card. But go ahead, get started. Go
ahead. Chris explaining to her to Monique why he loves her and why he chose her, and he's trying to express how much he loves her, and he brings up an ex, I guess, to say that this woman that I previously had before Monique was not good enough. Monique was the one that came and blew my mind, or whatever the case was, and she just did not like. I guess she felt it was comparing,
It was.
And what it is that Chris always speaks from his heart. He may not be the most eloquent, when he's speaking or whatever, or the most a huge strategist as far as the way he puts his words together. But he is never going out of his way to intentionally try to hurt Monique. She should know that by now. Okay. I don't think he intentionally was trying to compare her to anybody. What he was doing was saying, you blew me away. So even if I had somebody else, you blew me away. I had to be with you. So he wanted her to feel that. But she took it as if he was comparing her to another woman. Obviously, the man had a life before you. We talked about this earlier. There's life before you. Okay, so you're going to have to hear this. Let's say someone comes along. Chris is a former NFLer. Listen, we're going to do your biography. They got to do his life. So what? She don't want to hear about other women. If they're going to do his life honestly, she got to hear that stuff. So she's going to have a meltdown every time she hear about another woman? Come on now.
All right. Okay. Did you got everything out at that part at this point? Okay. So I agree and disagree with you. I agree that we all know as women and men that typically our partners, unless we got married, like my godparents who got married right out of high school, basically, and probably are the only people that each other have ever known. They've been married over 75 years, right? They're in their 90s. Okay. So, people realize, Alex, to your point, that you've had a life before them, but it's not the point that you're going to keep bringing it up. And if you're trying to express to a woman, or even if a woman was trying to express to a man, just picture this. Picture some woman telling you how much she loves you, and she goes and puts in, and even my college sweetheart. Like, that's 100 dang on years ago. These people are almost 40 years old. He is 40. I think she's a little bit younger than him. She's still in her 30s or late 30s or whatever. Okay. So like, who really cares to hear that? I think you and we had this conversation one-on-one. You know, like people who have that are widowed. Nobody is really trying to care and hear about your late spouse. Nobody is really caring like that unless you're marrying or dating their best friend after they're dead. We're not trying to hear about your late spouse. So understand that. And yeah, we understand that he's not the quickest on his feet when it comes to words, but I do get that she was upset about him bringing up the college sweetheart. But what I do agree with you with on the part is that, though, too, I think she blew it way out of proportion. And that's where I feel like I said earlier that there's a wound there that she's dealing with from childhood, and she's bringing it into her adult life because she's never taken the time, she's never had the expertise to sit with a person on the couch for months, weeks, months, and maybe years to heal that wound, because that's what that sounds like to me. It's not Chris that he's triggering you, yes, but you should be well enough to say, well, you know what, Chris, I would have preferred you could have left that out. I probably wouldn't have even done it in front of the other couples. That would have been, for me and my man, that would have been a conversation we would have had privately. Okay. Right.
Yep.
Out of respect to him. And I don't think I really don't feel like, and I don't know, because you got to be in that moment, right? In that moment with those people. But I don't think that I would have, the thing that I really kind of was upset with Monique about was, why does she hold this for, you know, hours later, they go later, and we'll get to that card, we'll get to that note, why you still hold that grudge? Like, that's crazy. That's really crazy, because this man really loves you. He adores you. And you hold things over his head for no good reason. And I think that's wrong. I think that's wrong to be the person in the relationship just because in some ways he's passive, and you use your assertiveness to always downgrade him. You use your assertiveness to always keep your foot on his neck. That is wrong, Monique. In my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
But let's see what our viewers are saying. Oh, they're still on you and your biggie. Let's say Chris or Chris. I'm sorry, Chris's biggie. Yeah, it was good. His biggie small was good. I agree.
Yeah.
Jay said, "Don't be disrespecting Andre 3000. Get his thousands right."
I changed it to 3 after I said 2. I did change it to 3. Okay?
Give him all his props. It's 3, not 2.
And I like Andre, so I apologize.
Oh, okay. And Jeremy, Aubery, you're missing some of my best comments about the cheating. I'm gonna get over there. And hear what you got.
What is he talking about?
Yeah, am I missing it? Jay Wiley is giving some applause here. Let's get some applause for Jeremy, because Jeremy's doing something out there in the chat. I'm missing it. I'll go back. I'll catch it on the replay, on my own replay, because some of what you guys are saying, I can't read all of it on air.
Keep clicking. You'll come across it.
Yeah, well, okay. Ravine. Hey, Ravine. How you doing? Good to see you in the chat.
Hey.
Let's see. Okay, Roro, hopefully she's safe. Roro says, when Chris mentioned his college sweetheart, that gave Monique fuel for her nitpicking fire. And yes, that's the word. There you go. It's, Alex calls it nagging. I say it's not so much nagging as you've got the better word for it. It is nitpicking. It's like, if you live with someone, if you're married to someone, if you love someone, you can see their flaws. You don't have to call them out all the time, because I was really impressed this episode when Chris talked about the fact, because I didn't know it. I mean, like, did he even pick up on it? Like, Chris, what's going on with you? Because sometimes he seems like he's in that sunken place. But when he said, you know what? She's controlling, she's bossy, and I forget the other adjective that he used in describing his love for his wife, and he was acknowledging these features about her. I didn't feel like for him that was nitpicking, because she nitpicks him all the time. And I think he was admitting, and he was saying that she's not perfect, but she's perfect for me. And I think that's what anyone wants to hear and to know, that I'm not perfect, doggone it, but I'm perfect for your butt. And you're
Right.
perfect for me, and we're perfect together. And whatever anybody else thinks about it, the heck with them, because we're working this thing out the best way we know how. Okay.
Right.
But when you're always constantly nitpicking your man or nitpicking your woman, that to me is almost a form of emotional abuse. In fact, it is a form of
Yeah.
emotional abuse. It's not, it almost is. It is. And
This
I
why
really,
this
it's
this
hurtful to see her do that.
this is why it looks like to everybody that she's pulling, she's reaching for reasons to get out. That's what it looks like to everybody. Because you finding little stupid stuff to get mad at, and not even just in the moment, for days at a time, you're still upset about something. So of something minute. It doesn't make any sense.
Okay, I'm gonna read this. I'm fair. I'm fair. Just because I don't agree all the way with your point. Like I said, there's parts of your points. And I said that, right?
Yep, you sure did.
Jay from another round is giving her opinion, and it's a valid one. She's saying, I'm with Alex on this point. He wasn't bigging the college ex, up, as it was showing that when he once thought he found love, being with Monique, his wife, showed him that he wasn't truly there until he learned to love Monique. Okay. Okay. I see
Right,
that. I see
right.
that. I see what you're saying when you put it that way. See, Jay has a way around words.
Yeah.
And then Jeremy says, go ahead and read that one while I scramble
Child,
down.
Monique mad when he doesn't expound on his feelings, and the moment he does, she flips out. I can't stand that woman.
Ah,
I, I'm telling you right now, if Jeremy wasn't sick, he'd be up here telling Monique a new one. I'm telling you.
you know what? Yeah, we did good. Good thing his throat is sore, because he really would be tearing her another one right now. And Ravine says, "That's it, Aubrey. Monique needs to give Chris grace. Yeah, she does. She needs to extend that. And here's my other thing. Now that I'm thinking about it, and thank you for pointing that out. Not only does she need to extend grace to him, more grace, but here's my other thing. I do have a problem with men or women. If you're a couple, we're a couple, which means we're a team, right? Um, we're not going to do this thing where you publicly knock me down, drag me down. I'm not going to do
Yeah,
that
we're
thing
not
where I
not doing that.
publicly,
Yeah.
right. I'm not going to do that thing where I public, he's my man. I'm not going to do that thing where I publicly knock him down. I'm not going to
Mm.
do that. If there's something he made a misspeak like that, a small misspeak, um, and I felt like, okay, yeah, that did kind of irritate me. That did kind of hurt my feelings, or whatever that thing is. I'm going to have the decency, the grace, and the love and the respect for my man, that I can tell him about it later when we're alone that night. I'm not going to wait. I'm not going to wait days and days and days, but I'm just going to simply say, hey, babe, you know what? When you said that, you spoke about your college girlfriend, it felt like you were comparing her and I. And maybe that's not what you meant, but that's how I felt. And it really didn't feel good. I would appreciate it, going forward, that you not do that. You not use that kind of analogy or example, right?
Mm.
It's just as simple as that. That's where the communication comes in. That's where the respect, that's where the grace comes in at.
And the
In
other
my
thing, Aubrey, she should know his heart by now. She know that Chris is never going to intentionally go out to try to hurt her. He doesn't do what Jamie does. He don't put his hand over her mouth. He don't shush her. He don't try to push her out of rooms to not be heard. He don't do none of that stuff to her.
No,
Okay, so
no.
she should understand this man's heart that you've been with for 10 years. His heart is pure. He's never trying to intentionally hurt you. Nobody's accusing him of being an eloquent speaker like Malcolm X. That's not what he is. Okay, so you have to accept these little nuances that you may or may not agree with, and don't run with this nitpicking stuff, as Roro said, because it is nitpicking.
It's nitpicking, yeah. And thank you, Roro, for that word, because nitpicking is exactly it. And I'm gonna say something too. I think that um she nitpicks, and it's just, it's like, it's something that what you're saying, like, she doesn't understand. Somebody else said it in the comments earlier. What was it? Self-sabotaging.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I think an ordinary human being, I really think that Chris has the patience of Job in the Bible, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because most people at this point would be really frustrated with Monique. Most men or women would have said, you know what? I can't take any of this nitpicking anymore. And not only is it nitpicking because we're watching it as viewers, right? It's public. All of this is public.
Mm-hmm.
And this will live on after this season, after they fix whatever is was going wrong in their marriage or whatever that thing was that they were dealing with. This stuff lives on. So again, I would be more careful than that, because maybe I grew up in a household with a mom and a dad, and I never saw my parents argue. And I know I'm not saying they never did argue or disagree, but back then in the 70s, my parents were very old school, very traditional. They didn't believe in you argue in front of the children and you have a divided home. They didn't believe in a divided home, that theory. So whatever they're going to do, they're going to have their disagreements. They're going to have their discussions. Maybe I'm not at home, I'm at school. Maybe they're out having lunch, whatever that thing was. And so I never, ever heard them. I never heard my dad call my mother out her name. And same thing for her. Never heard her call him out his name. There were no raised voices in my home. I grew up in a very quiet, laid back, chill home where people respected one another. So that's why I really have a problem when I get around people and the first thing out their mouth in a greeting is, hey, B, hey, H. You know, I don't talk to me like that, because that's not part of my culture. Yeah, I'm black, but I'm not that black.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the black that I am. I'm serious. I'm not.
And you know, if
Call
Monique
me
ever,
bougie if you want to, but I'm not that person.
If Monique ever comes on and graces the show with her presence in an interview or whatever, the yearbook answer, as we know, is going to be, oh, that was editing. There was a lot of behind the scenes stuff you guys didn't see prior to that. They edited that stuff that way. Listen, all we can go off is what they're giving us.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Keena said. Keena from Ready to Love,
Ready
Potomac,
to Love,
right? She said, okay, yeah, there is some editing, but you got to give them something to edit. It's still coming out your mouth.
Exactly. You're right. I want you to read. I put this up on the screen for you to read, Alex, because it's something that you're gonna really probably agree with.
Jay says, what Monique is doing is what I call making a person walk on eggshells, and I'm heavy-footed. Chris better than me. LOL. You know, and that's the exact word I use with you off the air, Aubery.
That's why I knew you was gonna agree with it.
I said, Jay, thank you. That's confirmation. I said to Aubery that a couple of these men, not Jamie, but Chris all the time, and sometimes even Quick, walks on eggshells around their women. And I just don't think that's very manly. I think at some point you have to put your foot down. But, you know, bruh, thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Oh, Jay is a lady.
I know. Bruh's an expression.
Oh, you do that?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Make sure you don't do that with me. I don't like that either. I'm not
okay,
that
bro. Okay,
no,
bro.
Serious. I'm not playing. I'm not playing. I'm an only child. My feelings get hurt real easily. I'm not bad as Monique on some things, but no, I don't like, you know, and I guess it's a cool thing, but y'all keep that cool where the people are cool, because I'm not cool like that. Don't call me bruh, man. I ain't feeling that trend. Hold up.
Where's the Sosa when you need her? Where's the Sosa?
I done ran her out of here. Come on back to Sosa. Come back to Sosa. I'm gonna put this up on the screen and you read. I'm gonna let you read this one too.
Okay. Ravine. That's not black, Aubery. That's ghetto.
I didn't say it, but I'm not saying I disagree with what she said. But I just didn't grow up like that. That's all I can tell you.
Look at Ellen. The fave go-to, it's editing. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. All the time.
Jay says, we're welcome. Oh, wait a minute. Read this one. She wrote that for you.
You're welcome, bro.
Y'all a mess. Y'all not gonna get me caught up in this IG world and this bruh and all this trendiness. I'm sorry. Some trends are not good. Just so you know, okay? Some trends are not good. Like, for example, skinny pants on men. Not a good trend.
No, that ain't gonna work.
Not a good trend.
Skinny jeans don't work.
Not a good trend. And on your bigger brothers, no, sir.
Stop it. They gotta stop it.
Please stop.
Right.
Read that one from Roro.
Yeah. Nah, bro. We don't play that.
Tell him, Roro, get him, girl, get him for me. Let me give Roro a hand. And you can read this one from
Ellen V, don't pull the Sosa in your mess. Yeah. No. The Sosa be having my back. For real.
Wait a minute. Y'all done caught up the Sosa. Here she is. Read
I need
that
backup.
one. We're gonna get back to our
I'm here, Alex, but working. Yes, thank you. There she go. Now mess with me now. Say something now that the Sosa's here. Let's go. Let's go.
I better back off. All right. So where do we leave off at? So Christmas speaks and compares. We did that. And then Mo tells Chris that, now this is the part. This is the part I wanted to get to this.
Right.
Mo tells Chris that so the question is asked to all the married couples that if you had to do it again, if you knowing what you know now, some people like Irena and Jamie are in 26 years deep, known each other for 30, married 26. Mo and Chris are almost made it to 10. And the other couple, I think, Silvers are 13 years into their marriage. Okay, so if you had to do it again, knowing what you know, would you marry each other again? Chris said yes. Monique tells Chris that she would rather that they would have been spiritually married instead of the paper type. I was outdone. I was like, you know what? It just keeps getting worse for Mo. Like, Mo, what are you doing? Why would you tell your husband that you love? Well, I'm going to presume. Let me say this. I'm going to presume that you love this man. Okay? I don't know what you've been through. True enough. I wasn't there in your marriage. I'm not there now, and I'll never know. Okay? I'll never know all of what you've been through in your marriage with him. But honest to goodness, girl, I mean, to me, if I were to tell my husband this, if I were married to a man and I was to tell him this, I feel like we might as well just go ahead and get a divorce, because this is basically what you're saying. You don't want to be married to him. This spiritual marriage, what is that? That's again, you're into this new age stuff, and I'm trying to figure out, has any of this stuff helped you to heal? All this new age stuff, has it helped you to heal any?
Aubery, as we grow in marriage,
a
lot of marriages don't work because sometimes people grow together and many times they grow apart. And I think Monique is going on a path that is pulling her away from the marriage. Whatever she's looking for, it doesn't jive with the marriage. And I think that Chris needs to start paying more close attention. And if I was Chris, behind the scenes, I would start putting provision in place to protect myself in the event of a divorce. Now, that doesn't mean he's not going to have to pay her, care for her, give her out. We know he's going to have to do all that. But he needs to start now seriously thinking, if this woman goes off the deep end and come in here with divorce papers, I gotta protect myself. So that's preventative. He got to start doing that now, thinking about that now, unfortunately, because she doesn't seem like she's all there. And many times her comments,
when you say do a little expounding on, she doesn't seem like she's all there in the marriage,
and there emotionally, she's not emotionally available. There's something wrong there, and like you said, we don't know what went on in her household, even maybe early in the marriage or previous relationships. Maybe she was hurt there. We don't know. Okay, but something's going on there. And it's clear that she just finding ways to check out of this situation. You remember the early a couple of episodes back when Chris was like, "You never even tell me that you're proud of me. You never ask me how my day went." Because she don't, but she expect him to ask her how your day went. I'm proud of you. She wants him to say those things to her, but she never says them to him.
Yeah, we, and Jeremy, to your, and I'm gonna tell you, Jeremy, you said this weeks ago when we did the episode where she did her first day at the radio station, right? We seen her come in, and I said, now, okay, and I wasn't making excuses, but we do know that editing does work some ways, because not only do they capture what you do and post what they want to post and air it, right? They also edit out stuff that they don't want viewers to see to make you look a certain way to create a narrative, right?
Yes.
So I said this then. I said, we don't know if she how she spoke to her husband, how she greeted him, whether she gave him a great big hug or a warm, like, or he gave her a great big hug, because actually, well, she's coming in. However, you know what I'm trying to say. And did they talk at all about his day with the kids or whatever before she went into talking about her day at the office? But yeah, that was a bad look. That was a bad look. You said that. And I feel like, so when you see people besides narcissism, and I'm not saying at all that I think Monique is a narcissist, because I honestly, actually, not at all do I think that. I think what she is maybe perhaps a very wounded person, because what you find with people that are very wounded and have a trauma that is unhealed, you find that they're not able to really care for someone in the way that a healthy person is able to care for someone, right? So if we think of physical illness and you think of someone that is 100% physically, right, they can certainly do more than a person that's operating at only, say, 40% of their physical capacity, right? So it's that same way emotionally. If you're wounded and hurt on the inside, where people can't see your wounds, they see what on the outside appears to be a healed person, but they're not, right? She's not able to give him the nurturing, because I looked at that and I did say about that scene when she came in and she had the little boy on her lap and she was doing all the cuddling and all the rubbing and talking to him. And then I noticed, one of the things I noticed in that scene that I did not like was that she made very little eye contact with Chris as she was talking to him and as he was talking to her. And I find that very rude when I'm with somebody in person, because we do enough in this society of ours with all this technology where we're texting one another and we never really reach out to, like, look, see, when we're together, a lot of times you go to dinner and you'll see people together, and what are they doing? They're sitting at the table and they're on the phone communicating with somebody else, rather than the people that they're actually breathing the
sitting
same
with,
air
right?
Breathing the same air with. You never know if this is going to be your last time seeing this person, and yet you're dismissing them.
You're
And so
sitting there texting.
You're sitting there texting, right? You're in a whole nother cyberspace or whatever. But I didn't like that she was there with her husband. I say this to women all the time that are my friends, is that if you're in a marriage, you love your children, but the husband comes first. Why? Because the couple comes first. Didn't I say that in that episode?
Sure did.
I talked about that, because let me tell you something. The one thing you're going to do is one day you're going to wake up and tell me, Jeremy, I said this too. All you got to do is blink your eyes, and 5 years, 10 years, 15 years has gone by. And that same little 3-year-old boy that was sitting on your lap, he's out the door, happy to be getting away from you, going to college where he can be with all the women and all the people that he wants to be with. Okay. That's not mom and not dad. Okay. So the last thing you want, you've been nurturing that child. Great. Nurture your child. I'm not saying not nurturing them. Nurture that child, but you better darn sure be working on nurturing that marriage, because that's the way it gets to 25 years, 30 years, and beyond.
Right.
Because to what you said, Alex, you brought up an excellent point. People will either grow together or they'll do what?
Grow apart. And then Roro has a response to what I was saying. I guess she wants me to expound a little bit.
Go ahead.
On that. And can you put the comment on the screen? She says
I'm sorry. Okay, because I'm okay.
Y'all too much fun. I love it here. That's from Jay.
Is it a question or is it a comment?
It's a question. It's a question from Roro. It's a few comments above. She just says,
here we go.
Yeah. Alex, what do you think is pulling her away from the marriage? I just think that she's growing in a direction that doesn't favor the marriage, that doesn't jive with togetherness. Whatever direction she's going in, she's taking that path alone, and she's not letting Chris really in on what she's feeling, because she may not even know. Or like you said, Aubery, she may have some issues that she has not dealt with. But
I really strongly believe she does.
But she's veering off into a direction that's creating more separation than togetherness, in my opinion. That's what we're seeing. So that's what I think is pulling her away. Whatever's driving her interest right now, or her emotional state, or whatever, that's pulling her away from the marriage.
Okay. And then Dundee, thank you for that. Dundee says something too. Monique doesn't seem to mind embarrassing Chris. Exactly. Her mother-in-law will say, I was right. Now that's from Okay, I heard about that there was issues between Chris's mother and Monique, and they didn't get along. Chris's mother does not like Monique, right? And there was some discord between them or whatever. I don't really know a lot about that. Again, I'm not a Real Housewives of Potomac person, so I don't know all the backdrop of that. I'll have to do my homework on the off season when this goes off after the reunion and try to catch up on all of that. But Alex, can you do me a favor? Can you
Yep.
engage the audience? I have to take a break. I'll be right back.
Okay. And I just want to acknowledge at this time, because I don't recall seeing you guys in the chat before. There's Dance87 and there's Mimi. And I don't recall seeing you guys in the chat before, but welcome. If you have been in the chat and I missed it, I apologize, but I'm glad you guys are here now. LNV, thank you for the super chat. I see there's a super chat from LNV. I'm sure Aubery would love that and appreciate you for that. But listen, guys, I just think marriage is a tough road. And I think a lot of times, the marriage, the divorce rate is over 50% going towards 60%. And I think a lot of it is because people get married for the wrong reasons. They don't understand what it entails. See, anybody can get married on the day of the wedding. People want the wedding, but they don't want the marriage. Okay, because you marry somebody, they're looking good, you guys are doing well, money is good, you might have a couple of nice cars, nice house, you may or may not have a child or two at the time, whatever the circumstances are, you can be happy for that day. But rest assured, the crisis is going to come, the hard times are going to come, and how you deal with those hard times later is building a solid friendship, a solid camaraderie early on. Okay. Like Aubery said, you have to make them kids understand they don't run this household, that the parents are going to get together against the children and run this household. Okay. Because the children will divide and conquer. When you have multiple children like I have, children are the great manipulators in the household. They'll pose one parent against the other, and before you know it, you guys are fighting, and the kids are just sitting back watching, like, look what we did, So you can't let them kids form a divide in that marriage. You gotta be a unified front in front of those children, and then go in the bedroom and lock the door and talk about whatever the issue is. But in front of them children, mommy and daddy said, go sit your butt down.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. I'm back, guys. Thank you for holding the audience and hanging in there with them. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ravine. Wow. While I was gone, thank you. We got a new 18 member. Hey. We got a new member. Woo!
And LNV left you a super chat too.
Wow, you guys. Wait, let me go take another 2-minute break. I do better when I'm away. Hey man, let me scroll back up and find that too. Thank you guys. That's so awesome. I tell you, sometimes this podcasting, boy, I tell you, sometimes you get discouraged, but you know what? You guys are really showing me more and more. I can't find it, Alex.
LNV definitely did a super chat. $4.99 jaunt. The $4.99 special.
Oh, okay. Oh, that was earlier. Yes. I did have that on the screen. Okay, I had that one up. Remember, I posted that earlier. Okay, let me get back down to where we're at and currently in the comments as I was looking for that. I thought it was a new one. Okay, but thank you.
And Aubery, do you recall?
And guys, our 18 members: Jeremy, Roro, Ellen, Monique, Alex. And that allegedly Aubery chick that's a little strange. We're welcoming you to the phone, Ravine. Welcome. And you guys welcome her down in the chats. What were you saying, Alex? I'm sorry.
No, I said I actually acknowledged two people in the chat that I hadn't seen before. Maybe you have. There was Dance87 and Mimi. I acknowledged them.
I have seen them before, and thank you. But welcome back, though. Mimi, returning viewers is great, awesome, and subscribers. Thank you for returning. We definitely, I've seen them before. You've seen them before too. You may not remember though. Let's see. Let's get back on the comments here. Monique's treading a thin line of emasculating Chris. I know. Thinks she doesn't want to do that. Yeah, I don't think so.
You
And
see
I
Chris
feel
getting frustrated too. Chris is getting very frustrated with her at this
yeah,
point.
because do you guys remember what was it? The one scene, the episode a couple episodes ago when they had just come back from that wonderful trip to Africa to were they in Kenya? Guys, help
Mm.
me out. I don't remember what country in Africa they were in. I think it was Kenya, but they went on the safari. Everything was great. They get back and she had a meltdown. Like,
Right.
she was telling Chris, she said, well, what was your spiritual journey? That's what it was. She was like, what was your spiritual journey? Explain to me your spiritual journey. Can you describe it in words? Can you put it into words? Well, Monique, the man is not a writer. He's not a journalist. Words are not his forte. Do you want to get on the field? And how many men are on that football field? Can you tell me real quick,
Right.
Alex?
How many men?
Yeah, how many men on a team on a football?
There's over 50 players on the team.
But how
Over
many on the
50.
field at one time, like the
Oh,
opposing
11
team?
on 11. 11 on 11.
Okay, so if you want to get out on the field, Monique, and let 11 men at 250, 350 per person come running at you, right? Do what Chris did, okay? You know as well as I do, as an intellectual person, you know that everybody has their strengths and their weaknesses, and what you're asking of Chris is clearly in his field of his weakness, okay? And that's not fair. That's not fair for a person like you to take that and use that against him. I really take issue with that because you're smarter than that, Monique. You're smarter than that. You're smarter than that.
Apparently not.
And your marriage, I think, is bigger and greater than that. If you get through this hurdle, please, you two work on communicating. You, Monique, work on communicating with him in a respectful manner, because how you're communicating your frustration right now, it's not healthy. It's not
But
healthy.
I'll say this, Aubery, respectfully. When a person wants out of a marriage, there's nothing you can do. They want out. There's nothing you can do.
I don't think that's it, though. I think, you know what, and I get, and I do understand, Alex. I'm not dismissing what you're saying. I'm not understanding what you're saying. I do get what you're saying and how you would feel that way as a man, but I'm telling you, as a woman, I don't believe that's it. That's not what it is. It's not that she wants out of the marriage. I don't feel that, but I could be wrong. This is just my opinion. Okay.
All right, I got you.
Okay. But I'm gonna continue on with some of the, and then we're gonna finish up on our notes here and wrap this up. Roro, we love we love you, Aubery, and Alex too. Yeah, that Alex.
Yeah, you gotta throw me in there.
What was someone said? Alex is a lovable mess. Yes, I agree with that person. And Mimi, I be in yeah, girl. You be in these YouTube streets too. I know, right? I be running into you. That's why I say I've seen you before, and I've seen you in here. I recognize you. Jay says, Mimi, okay, yeah, you should be hit. I'm gonna tell you something. Who I don't think ever sleeps is Monique and Ellen. They never sleep.
Yeah.
And Mocha Mima and Roro is like a close second too. Okay, I'm waiting for our girl Little Hurler to get back in here. I miss her. What is that? In that scene, Chris was so yes, girl. Oh, I hope you're a girl. Dundee, I'm not sure. In that scene, Chris was so tender when he scooped her up when Monique started crying. She bet not mess that girl. I'm telling you, wasn't that sweet? I mean, like, wow.
What scene with the horses? That scene?
No. We're going back a couple of episodes when they had come back from Africa, like I was saying. When she started having the meltdown, when she was telling him she was trying to basically force him to give her words of what his spiritual journey was about while they were in Africa. And I'm saying that, I was just saying that Chris is obviously, words is not his thing. Not saying that he's not intelligent, not saying that he's not articulate, but if you want somebody that's going to be an orator, it's not Chris. Okay.
Yeah, he's not a wordsmith. So it's not his strength.
He's not a wordsmith, right? He's, like I said, so that's not his strength. But the point of it was that she was trying to beat it out of him, and she was asking him for something that clearly, after 10, 20 years that she's been with him, she knows that. If I know it, and I've only seen the guy for a few weeks, she clearly knows it. Anyway, do you remember that scene when she started crying? He went to her and he picked her up like as if she weighed like 5 pounds. Like, you know how strong he is, right?
Yeah.
He picked her up and they embraced each other. And then that's when you could really see the emotion. And that's why I say she's not done with him. she's not wanting, I don't feel like she wants a divorce. I feel like she's frustrated. I feel like some of her own, like somebody pointed out earlier, some of her frustrations about her own life while she was doing things and running the house, the managerial skills that it takes to run a household and to run and manage the money for a man like Chris. A lot of people don't give her credit for that, but that's one of the things that she was doing. People don't understand or know apparently that when she met Chris, he had someone managing his money, and she stepped in and made sure that the person that was stealing the money, that the money was put back or that it was not mishandled by this person any longer. So people don't understand that about her. She was managing his money, and because he had somebody, he had a Kevin Williams type swindling him out of his money. Okay, guys, and let me tell you, that's a real thing because the ball player that I was associated with, in relationship with, that is a very real thing. You would be surprised, like the guys that are in the NFL, the NBA, any major
sports league, any
sport,
major sports league.
yeah, any sports league. There's so much going on with their money, and these guys are busy. They're traveling. Think about it. They're traveling. They're working all these days. They're working out. It's a whole thing. But anyway, let's get back over here to the notes, and we're gonna wrap this up because my voice is getting tired. I mean, I'm not trying to be funny, but I'm just getting over some illness, so we're gonna work this out. I think
we covered that.
Okay, yeah. No, hon. But that just it picks up where we left off. Okay. There's my note to the replay game, guys. So if you're on the replay, this is for you. Leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. We really appreciate it. And the last couple of notes is Ashley decides to forgive Crick. We pretty much got that. The horse scene. That's basically, we talked about that, where she didn't forgive him and she got very emotional, and that's what leads me to think that she's very wounded from her childhood.
Crocodile tears to me.
But, okay. Scene that we didn't cover, if you want to say anything about Jamie's son being in trouble and the lawyer scene, and then we got one more scene and then we're out of here.
Yeah, real quick with this. Jamie's son is in trouble. And I'm gonna say this. I really hope that whatever this is, that he can beat this case, because he's not built for this. He's not built to be going in nobody's prison, because he gonna have his hand in somebody's pocket. He gonna be somebody's B. Okay. And they don't count on this when they in the streets running around. See, when you in the street doing dirt and the cops come or other hoodlums come, you can run. You can run and hide and shoot from corners and do all this kind of stuff. But when you're on the inside in a cell block, okay, and somebody wants you, you have nowhere to run. You got to stand up and fight these men, okay? Wow. And he's not built for this. So he will get, assaulted, okay, sexually, okay? He's not built for this life. So I really hope that he beat this case, but more importantly, learn, because I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen guys go into this institution of prison, tough, and they come out on the DL to a woman, to a wife, who don't know he's on the DL now, because he been getting slayed in prison. Okay, this is not a game. See, it's cool when you're in the street with your pants sagging and acting stupid and bebopping down the street when you're from a good household, because Jamie Jr. is from a good household. Okay, he's not from the hood. He's not from the ghetto. He wasn't raised in that. He been listening to rap songs. Now he want to live this
thinking he's cool, right?
Yeah, you see what I'm trying to live through rap songs. But it's real out here, Aubery. So I hope he beats the case for his own good, for his own sanity, because you go in there one way, you never the same when you come out. Okay.
Wow. I was just going through some of the comments as you were talking. I found out that Dundee is a lady.
Okay.
Okay, Dundee. Thumbs
D.
up on that. Thumbs up. We got one more scene. Hold on. We got one more scene, and that is the book signing.
Donna D in the place to be.
The book signing. Come on, let's talk about the book signing.
Yes. This is Ashley's big moment. And Quick got down on one knee with that ring to I guess to repropose. to her, let her know how much she's meant to his life. And look, Ashley held it down while he was trying to become DJ Quick. Okay, so we know what she meant to that whole process. You know what I mean? So he's paying homage to her. And at this point, of course, she's forgiven him for what he said earlier, because it doesn't matter. What matters is where you guys are right now, what you've built together. And this book is a project of sweat equity that she's been writing for a long time. And everybody came out to support her. And I'm happy for the fact that she's finally got this book done and that Quick is there to support her. And, you know, hopefully it's a success for her.
Right. What did you think about him getting down on one knee? Is that how you propose to respectively to each one of your wives?
To my second one, yes. To my second one, yes. To the first one, I did not. I just asked her. I didn't get down on one knee. But the second one, I did that. I did get on one knee.
I have a question. If is it okay if I ask you a question about the first wife? So is it because you just didn't know the tradition, or you just were against the tradition? What was the reason why you didn't get down on the one knee?
Not mature enough. I didn't want to get married. I went kicking and screaming, you know. So I was kind of like, as much as I loved her, I didn't want to get married. But I felt obligated.
You wanted to have a spiritual marriage, like,
I want to have
like Monique. Oh God!
You
what
know,
do these people come up with? They just be making up stuff.
Yeah, just a lack of maturity in my approach to marriage at that time in my life. By the time I got to my second marriage, I was much more mature at that point, and I knew to get down on one knee and do that whole thing.
And I gotta ask you, because you know you always tout yourself as a manly man.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Mm-hmm. Why? Hello?
I'm here.
Okay. You know, you never know what's going on with my board on this side, so just have patience.
Oh, okay.
Board just blacked out. Why? I'm trying to ask this now because it's really totally threw me off the blackout. Why did you feel the need to get down on the knee for the second proposal? Like, what moved you to that point? Like, you know, what in you matured enough, and how did you feel as a man to do that?
Well, I had been so horrible in the first marriage that I wanted to get this one started on the right foot, you know, and continue through. Because when by the time I married my first wife, we had 2 children. We were together probably 10, 11 years before we even got married. And there was a lot of damage done by me primarily in those 12 years. So by the time we got to the marriage, there was just so much pain and hurt. I'm like, look, let's just do it and get it over with. Let's just get married. The hell with it. That was the attitude. And that's why I didn't get down on one knee. But going through all that pain and hurt of having my family broken up due to a lot of my own stupidity and, you know, running the streets and doing that whole thing. When it came time for this second one, I wanted to make sure it got off on the right foot. And I wanted to do the right thing from day one. I didn't want to have a bunch of bad behavior and then in year 5 try to make up for 5 years worth of bad behavior. That just doesn't work, because once the hurt is there, the hurt is there. It's hard to heal, you know.
Wow. I want to thank you for that.
Yes.
I want to thank you for that, because that's a very real, authentic, transparent response, Alex.
Yes. Thank you for asking. Yeah.
I'm humbled. I'm humbled by that. That's all I can say right now. Yeah. Guys, you guys are so freaking wonderful.
Yes. I love these people in the chat. I just love them.
You guys are so wonderful. This is the part where I normally look at my schedule and I tell you what's coming up. So I'm going to do that. We had to move our members. Guys, we got a members only coming up. We did have to move that from this Thursday, which would have been tomorrow, right? We moved it to the following Thursday. We're going to do... Oh God, why am I in June? This is so crazy. My calendar is flipped over to June, but I know what I'm trying to say. We are doing that on the 28th. The 28th of this month, which is a Thursday, right? We're moving the members only, where we're going to be talking about, we're going to give our very intimate, personal, only to our members though, we're going to give our very personal takeaways of all the 13, 14, 15 interviews that we've done thus far of the many stars of OWN TV, Ready to Love, Put a Ring on It. And trust me, we do have some things to say about these people, okay? But we'll be talking about that privately with members only. So if you're not a member, you may want to join, get that membership in. And Ravine, you're in for a treat on Thursday, July 28th. But also on this week, on Friday at 8 o'clock, Sonia G and I from Let the Lady Speak podcast will be doing a wonderful podcast about safer love. We'll be talking about dating. We'll be talking about how to stay safe, how to vet your date, and many other points on having safe, healthy, safer, healthier love, right? So, and you know the fellas will probably check in anyway. It's a she said podcast in that case, but men, you're welcome. You're welcome to tune in, and in some cases, every now and then, give your 2 cents. But but we will be basically ladies talking and enjoying ourselves, guys. We really enjoyed this time with you. I'm going to go through some of these comments real quick. People have really been touched. The ladies in the chat, and I'm sure even some men, even if they don't want to say it, have felt what your words were, Alex. So Ellen V says, thank you for sharing that, Alex.
Yes.
Mimi, I was doing so much yelling, I didn't notice the one knee proposal. Oh, were you yelling because Tank was doing that singing or what? What was he yelling all about? But yeah, I think that's hot. So, you know me, I'm an old fashioned girl. I think that's like a really cool thing when a guy can get down on a bended knee. I think, because see, this is me. I think marriage is about ministry. I think marriage is about service. And I think that if a man is unwilling to get down on one knee, he's probably not going to be willing to serve his wife either. So maybe he probably should rethink that. But, different cultures do different things. So I'm going to acknowledge that too. But I'm saying right here in America, that has been a tradition. And I don't see a reason in my heart and in my mind to do away with that tradition, right? I like that tradition. I think that it shows it's the beginning, like Alex said. It's the beginning, and it's starting things off on the right foot and the right knee, literally, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yep.
And DeSosa says accountability and honesty, Alex. She's applauding you.
Yes, thank you, DeSosa.
Monique says, you can read that one, Alex.
Yes, Monique says this has been a really good chat. It has, Monique. It really has.
I think so. I mean, I didn't even plan to get into all of these things. We thought we were going to hit it and quit it. We'd be out of here in less than an hour. It's almost 2 hours later as my voice is about to go. Right. Go ahead and read that one too, Alex.
Yes. Jay says, great review all. Jay loved it. Roro says, Alex, you said some things right there. 100. So yeah, I got to be honest with you guys. I can't never fake it with you guys.
And the last one, Ellen V says, yeah, Sonia, she's sweet. Not only is she sweet, though, I've been talking to her. We've been doing a lot of talking since that the Shorty interview, right, where her and I did the she said sit down talk with Shorty from Put a Ring on It. Sonia is, not only is she sweet, like she's a real savvy lady. She really understands the workings of the inner mind and psychology. So this is going to be a really good chat on Friday because she has a very good grasp. I think I have a pretty decent grasp of psychology, sociology. And so we're going to put those things to work. And, the other thing is really awesome. Sonia is an actual certified life coach. So you guys that are looking, want to talk to and hear some good advice from someone who is a certified life coach, a registered nurse, has background in a lot of things, and is just really a very well-rounded woman. Come join us on Friday at 8 o'clock because we're going to get into dating. And on that note, we're going to get on up out of here.
Good night, bro.
You guys still on that mess? Oh, Lord.
Love you, Roro.
Lord. Here we go, guys. We're out.